live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally. This is indeed the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel A. Bakutana, your host today. And I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from around the world. This program exists to challenge, to equip, and to encourage men, particularly, to strengthen their family leadership capacity for national transformation. And you are very welcome to today's episode 23. It's been quite a journey. And you know that last Saturday, for some of you who were watching, we focused on preparing boys for family leadership. And we hosted Madame Ivas Kansime Atwine, the Executive Director of ICFC, the International Center for Mental Health and Family Care. And so today we are having the same topic, this time from a man's perspective. So we heard from a woman's perspective. Today we want to hear from a man's perspective what it means to prepare the boy for family leadership. You know, the other time when you did something before you were ready for it, what were the results? What happens when you get into something you have not prepared for? When you get into the interview room when you have not prepared for it? When you get into an exam before you do the revision? When you start a job when you are not prepared? Many times, whenever there is no preparation, definitely there is a feeling of insufficiency, a feeling of inadequacy, and many times it is seen in the results that are produced. So today, to talk about this very important topic is none other than our awesome guest who has been here before, the Reverend Canon Geoffrey Byaruhanga, who is the Provincial Chairman for the House of Clergy. And so here he is with us. I would like us to welcome him. The way we often do it in conferences, in workshops, in seminars, wherever you are right there, put your hands together and welcome Rev Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Canon.
Thank you, Samuel, and thank you very much for keeping the fire burning, for preparing leaders at very basic and important levels, at the family level.
At the family level.
Of course, from the family, then it goes into the church and the community and the globe.
As the family is, so shall the nation be.
True, indeed.
And all the people who go to education, to celebration industry, where we have arts, culture, sports, entertainment, those who go to politics and governance, those who go to every sphere of influence, actually come from a family. They come from home. And that's why this program is focusing on equipping the leaders for this family.
And it's very, very strategic. I would like to thank you. You were led of the Lord to focus on the family, which is not only the manufacturing ground for human beings, but is also the nursery bed for leaders.
Exactly.
And as a nursery bed, anybody who does not concentrate on the family has lost a strategic approach to life.
Yes.
So raising leaders, preparing them at a family level is so foundational, so important that we can't overemphasize it.
We can't. And you're saying it is so foundational. You know, I always point my fingers on words. I am a student of words. I am particular with words. So you've said it is so foundational. And talk of a foundation, you know, when the foundations are broken, what can the righteous do? When the foundations are not strong enough, the house can't stand.
It can't stand.
So many times we go to conferences and talk of high-level strategic leadership, go to hotels and talk about...
What happened?
But then we are leaving the foundation where the leaders would be actually raised. So I'm so glad that you are part of this important program today as we talk about preparing boys for family leadership. So what have you been doing of late? Let's begin from that. What's going on?
Of course, one of the other office I hold is that I'm the chairman of my family.
Okay.
I'm the husband and the father
and
the chairman of the entire household.
Yeah.
That is a family There's a government at the family level. There's an economy at the family level.
Yes.
There's a culture at the family level. There's a production of goods and services at the family level.
Yes.
So I'm the CEO of the
Byaruhanga family Incorporated. I think you're already, sharing very critical nuggets here that at the family level, there is or there should be a government.
Yeah.
So there should be family governance.
Yes.
2, there is an economy. So there should be a family economy that is strong.
Yes.
So that even if
that
a national
viable.
economy is fledgling and struggling, somewhere, somehow, the family economy is thriving. You've also talked about culture. So this institution called family should be having an organizational culture.
Exactly.
In this family, we do things this way. In this family, we do this and that. We don't do this and that. In this family, we face this direction when we are doing this.
Yes.
A culture. Then you talked about, basically governance, economy, and culture. So that's what you've been doing. You've been chairing the family government.
Yes. Recently, our boys have gone back to school.
Yeah.
So they were back for holidays. And a very interesting experience.
Wow.
Seeing them grow and now observing deliberately.
Becoming taller than you.
Yes. Definitely. They've already become taller than their mother.
Yes.
And now I'm the next target. And it may not be long before they hit that target and we'll be asking how is it up there.
I can imagine.
Yes, but so at family level, as we talk of training and preparing leaders, we should also be intentional in explaining or looking at a possible intended outcome.
Indeed.
What kind of man are we hoping to get out of our preparatory process? Then we can know what to do with the preparation. Exactly.
This goes back to what we often talk about concerning the discipline of education, that in the arena of education, you begin with the goal of education system. So what kind of products do we want to get out of this education system? Then you can therefore say, these are the strategic objectives of this system, and therefore this is the content we are going to expose the students to. This is the methodology, the approach. This is how we shall assess. This is how we shall know we have achieved. So we also need to start with the kind of person we want to build in a family setup out of the young boy. Then we can know what to expose the boy to.
In the Bible, the book of Proverbs, chapter 31, we usually talk about the capable wife who can find
the virtuous woman.
But interestingly, before this chapter talks about the virtuous woman, it actually talks to the men.
You are making me curious, and I'm right now looking for it.
Yeah, and this is a mother. Talking to her son.
Yes, the mother of King Lemuel.
Talking to her son.
Yes.
Before she even talks about the woman, she talks the son.
I can see.
And cautions him about two things. Do not give your labor to women.
Yes.
Now, this is now moral instruction.
Yeah, ethics and moral uprightness.
Yes. Secondly, she talks about, she cautions against drunkenness.
Yes.
Being drunk and wasted, and you think you are happening, and kumbe you are really wasting opportunities, you are wasting your life, you are failing in your duty as a leader.
Yes.
The times and the minutes and the hours you are not sober. Something fundamental has been cut off. So then she goes to talk about this virtuous woman.
Yeah.
But there are two things which young leaders must be cautious about. Do not give your labor, your youth, your sense of self-worth to reckless women.
Let's read it actually the way it is.
Thank you.
Proverbs 31 from verse 1. The words of King Lemuel, an oracle that his mother taught him. What are you doing, my son? What are you doing, son of my womb? What are you doing, son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, your ways to those who destroy kings. It is not for kings, O my son. It is not for the kings to drink wine, or for rulers to take strong drink, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed and they pervert the rights of the afflicted. Give strong drink to the one who is perishing, and wine to those who are in bitter distress. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. Rather, open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and the needy. And then now it comes in and says, an excellent virtuous wife, who can find? So the first 9 verses, they're actually talking about what we could say the Proverbs 31 man.
Yes.
And I think that's why today's topic is very critical. The question of preparing the boys for this kind of life.
And interestingly,
yes,
this is a woman. It's not
talking.
even a father.
Yes.
This is a woman, and speaking to women. These boys that you bore in your womb, and that you nursed, that you carry in your arms, one day, this is somebody's husband.
Indeed.
This is somebody's father.
Yeah.
This is somebody's boss. This could be a doctor in an operating theater. This is a CEO.
This is a president of a whole country.
This is a president of a whole country who can sign declaration of war.
Yeah. Executive orders.
Executive order. Yeah. Prerogative of mercies.
So let's begin from that. Generally in life, not just talking about the boys and the family, let's first put it a little bit generally. What would you say is the importance of preparation in life, generally?
It's very dangerous,
yes,
to assign responsibility of whatever type,
yes,
to an unprepared person.
It's dangerous to assign a responsibility to anybody who is not prepared.
It will damage you, and that person will also damage people.
Yes.
So preparation. If you've not prepared them, don't assign them any responsibility. You failed them by not preparing them and yet expecting them to produce that which they are incapable of producing. So please spend time and prepare them.
So does that mean we should lose a right to ask some tough questions to our sons in their young adult life when they are making mistakes here and there, when we never took time to be available to them and actually prepare them for their young adult life?
That's the answer?
Yeah.
That's the answer.
We lose the right.
We lose the right
when we don't prepare them.
Ask them tough questions because we never invested in preparing them.
Yeah. That could also mean that maybe we don't have a right to summon and sanction staff members in our organizations who don't perform well if we didn't induct them well at entry into the organization, if we never taught them what to do.
That principle operates even in a workplace.
That's what I'm trying to do, to bring it generally in life, to see how this actually works.
And it is even very frightening for us in the church. We have now, these days, we have a tendency of really being lazy and careless. Managing the entry point.
Managing the entry point.
Yeah. Who comes in into the leadership of a church? How are they prepared?
Yes.
And how are they sieved? And how are they deployed?
You have the council that has been put in place. It was never inducted ably. It has not been given a leadership training, but then you expect them to deliver very well.
Yes. This is like expecting water from a stone. It won't happen.
Unless it is the biblical miracle during the wilderness.
Even when it was a miracle, it was worse.
But then when you look at the boys, let's bring it now to the boys. Does a boy really need to be prepared for family leadership? Can't he learn on the job? Can't he learn on the job?
There are some biblical principles, like you've had this word, spare the rod
and spoil the child. Yes.
That is a preparatory principle. In other words, in the children, with a child, is foolishness. I think the book of Proverbs talks about that.
And there is foolishness hidden in the heart of a young man.
In the heart of a young man.
And the rod of correction drives it out.
Exactly. Now, that rod of correction is like a drill sergeant's baton who says, this is the line, and until you know how to walk in the lane, you cannot advance to the next level of training. So, basic principles of living. if you are to get a leader, and leadership is really high currency.
Yes, it's high currency.
High currency.
What does that mean?
It means there's a lot of value that should be attached to leadership.
There is a lot of stake where leadership is being talked about. The stakes are high.
And where it is absent,
yes,
the cost is very expensive. Cost is high. So we had better invest in leadership, because lack of leadership is very expensive. To a country, to a culture, even to a race. You heard of Africa having had 400 years of slave trade. Who was capturing fellow Africans?
Chiefs.
And selling them.
Chiefs, village chiefs, county chiefs.
Yes.
I was talking about exactly the same thing with some workmate 2 days ago.
Of human capital hemorrhage.
Indeed.
And we've never been paid back. We talk of reparations.
Do you expect payment back?
We had better. Of course, when you look at the international races, Commonwealth, Olympics, these are the runners, the athletics from Brazil, from the Caribbean, from the US. These are Africans, and Africa never gets the credit.
I saw the French team, the team of France, when it won the World Cup. I think
over half.
No, much more. Canon. It was like 90%. They were all, dark skinned. So somebody made a terrible comment. He said, "We congratulate Africa for winning the World Cup
for France
while being residents in France."
So that 400 years of human capital hemorrhage was based on the fact that there was lack of leadership on the African continent.
Yes, I hear you. So where there is no preparation, if this boy is not prepared, he will never become a good family leader. And where a family is lacking leadership, there will be hemorrhage of all kinds. Resources, time, wisdom, everything.
Opportunity.
Yes.
So, preparation that intends to bring out an adult, a man. I called him a godly man and a manly man.
A godly man and a manly man.
Man.
What's the difference?
There's a difference. A man in terms of character.
Okay.
There are some, these days we are raising wishy-washy wimps for people.
Vegetable cowards.
Cowards. People who can't even attempt anything new and hard.
Because life is difficult.
They are crybabies.
They are preserving their life. They want to see the future.
Preserve it and lose it.
And actually that makes me want to ask, when you look at the current state of family life preparedness among boys and young men, how would you rate it? What do you see? What's the current state for you?
No, we are not doing a good job. We've relegated that role as we concentrated on survival and providing.
Yes.
We failed to see the importance of training and instruction and character modeling. You may want to build a house for someone, your son or your daughter, instead of building the character.
Instead of building him.
Build him.
So that he can build the house himself. Interesting. So you don't focus on building a house for your son.
Build the
son, he will build his own house.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Give them skills. Skills for living.
Yeah.
Give them character. Give them responsibility. A sense of responsibility, and oversee them until you are sure they can handle responsibility.
Don't give them a gun before they know how to be responsible with weapons.
So, intended outcome. I thought it should be a young man who you think should be functional in life, who should be skilled at what he puts his hand to do, who exercises responsibility.
Yes.
Whatever he's trusted with, he holds it responsibly. Who is fulfilled.
And the truth of the matter, Canon, is that there are very many young men who are totally irresponsible today. you see them all over the place. A sense of irresponsibility. You look at how they dress, irresponsible.
Bullying.
You look at how they talk, how they speak, irresponsibility. You look at how they think, the ideas they have, outrageously irresponsible.
Outrageous.
You look at how they handle ladies, how they handle girls in their life, totally irresponsible. You look at how they handle money, totally irresponsible. You look at how they deal with anger and emotions, volcanic eruption. There is a high level of irresponsibility among very many young men.
And it's very frightening because these are the people who in our old age should be working and paying our pension. Yes.
You better not rely on them. You better save, you better invest.
No.
You better put your money in shares and treasury bills and treasury bonds and real estate instead of putting your hope in these young men and young women and making them your old age insurance policy. You may be disappointed.
They should be the fund managers.
better that way. Fund managers.
Yeah, but if they mismanage our funds, which we have saved because they are irresponsible, you'll hear a certain company has become bankrupt.
Yes.
Because of fictitious accounting.
Yes.
Somebody who cooks up figures and thinks he's smart.
Instead of cooking food, they cook books.
They cook books.
What kind of chefs are those?
So those are very irresponsible. They've been trusted with the stewardship of resources of an economy, but because they are careless, they don't know what responsibility means. They're very selfish. Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest challenges why this is what we are facing is because, like we have had again and again in the recent recent months, recent years, the whole focus has been on equipping the girl. The whole focus has been on emancipating the woman. So there is a way the boy has been left out and the man has been abandoned.
Yeah.
And I am curious, what are some of the reasons that make boys tend to be left out of family life, tend to be left out of preparedness? Why is the society leaving out boys? Why are people in families leaving out preparation of boys?
There's the feminization of family life, feminization of life generally. The feminist movement, which is by and large really, yes, it projects as if it is fighting for the rights and welfare of women, but the motive behind is not right.
What's the motive? Since this program is provocative, let me provoke you. What's
competitive? They compete against male.
And we are living in a capitalistic world. What's the problem with competition?
It's the spirit which is hostile to masculinity, and therefore undermines godly order of complementarity instead of competition. And supporting each other and upholding the headship of a male. And a feminist spirit wants to cut that.
Yes.
And because men have wanted to keep the peace, we've kind of said, okay, have your way, but we've ended up with an unbalanced human development. Women have been empowered. The men have now become, we now excuse ourselves.
We get into caves and get into our hiding places.
Yeah, we withdraw.
And then the society starts to ask, men, where are you?
Where are you?
We are in our hideouts.
Yes, we are hiding.
Where the world has pushed us.
Where it is safe, we are watching.
To see how this world will be run.
When men begin to apologize for being men, therefore they will not step up and fulfill their space and occupy the space which God has assigned them. When men begin to apologize for being men, there's something wrong.
Men apologizing for being men.
Yes.
Maybe the definition of men is partly where the challenge is coming in. I think I am becoming a man, and my woman looks at me and says, I can't put up with this kind of crap. So what I think is manhood is summarized as crap. You see the trouble we are in.
Yes.
And probably, maybe sometimes it's crap, probably, because I also didn't understand manhood. Maybe because I didn't get a good model to teach me that. I wasn't raised. So maybe this woman has a point. I don't know.
You can't be sure. What's the standard? There's something.
So feminization of family life, hostility to masculinity, and a spirit of competition instead of complementarity.
Yeah.
That's why boys are left out.
That has undermined the men. Some of the men. And the economy. The economy has also been harsh and hostile to the male.
Isn't it hostile to everybody, male and female?
Yeah, more especially hostile to the man, because by nature we are providers.
Yeah.
If you are incapable of providing, it's something that has been really ripped out of you, and your sense of confidence and sense of self-worth. Men want to be needed. They want to be needed.
And that's where the feminists will come up and say, needed for what reason?
You are only a sperm donor, you are only nothing, we can do without you.
I heard one say that men are biological mistakes.
You hear? Biological mistake.
That's what a certain woman said.
So when you are
in
such an environment that is hostile, for the men who are peaceful, they will withdraw.
Okay.
And you'll see society moving in and out, moving in your circles, muchaka.
And the men who are not peaceful, what will they do?
They also some of them become very radical, and they go the extra mile instead of being balanced. They can go to an extreme also, which is also not right.
And I will be honest with you, Canon, that I am a little bit worried about that group number 2, that second group, that latter group, because I'm sensing it. I deal with men all over the country, again and again. I meet them in their forums. I talk with them in conferences. I meet them in fellowships. I talk with them one-on-one. Canon, let me tell you, you are a man of God in the church. You better pray that in the next 5 to 10 years, we won't see a volcanic eruption of men who have a spirit of revenge. Because many men are so bitter, many men are so disappointed, many men feel like they want to now come out and revenge against a movement they have tolerated for long. And I think that's very dangerous for our world.
It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. So, training the head, the hand, the head, the heart.
But whose responsibility is this? Whose responsibility is it to prepare a boy for family leadership?
It's the adult world. The adult
world. That is
the adult people in the boy's life. Mother and father, uncles, teachers, the community leader, opinion leader. All those are the training instructors in word and more so in deed and modeling. These are the instructors.
The adult world.
The adult world.
That surrounds the boy.
Yes.
Should prepare him.
Yes.
That reminds me of a simple write-up I came across where it was a story about some people. One was called nobody, another was called somebody, another one was called everybody. And then the story sounded like there was something to be done by somebody, but everybody thought anybody could do it. So at the end of the day, nobody did what anybody could have done.
You're gifting me the word.
So when we say that
adult world,
adult world, it's like we have given it to no one really.
No.
It's like in the workplace when you don't particularly say you are the one in charge of media, you are the one in charge of human resource. If we say all of us here, people, let's make sure human resource is done well. Let's make it won't be done.
We can allocate it now. At the family level,
yes,
there is daddy and mommy.
Family level, daddy and mommy.
Yes.
Prepare your son.
Now, in our culture, I was actually observing, there are 4 types of fathers. There's a father, the biological father. There's father, the younger, as the uncle.
Father, the younger.
Hey. There's a father, the grandfather.
Yes.
And there's also the father, the paternal aunt. The paternal aunt steps in the shoes of a father, but female.
That's an interesting concept.
Yes.
Africa is rich. Yes. I'm really reflecting upon what you're saying. It's interesting because I see it even in my language. I think it comes out powerfully in vernacular. You have tata, that is now dad, biological dad.
Yes.
Tata. Then you have tatento. Now tatento, it's like the younger dad. In other words, tatento, that is
paternal uncle.
That's paternal uncle.
Yes.
Okay, tatento. Then you have tatenkuru. Now tatento is like a younger dad who is now the paternal uncle. Then tatenkuru is like older dad who is the grandfather.
The more experienced.
The more experienced dad. And then there is tatenkazi, who is now paternal aunt. This is an interesting concept.
Yes.
So it's like culture is ascribing some 4 people to somehow come in
to father this child.
Isn't it interesting that out of the 4 there is a woman?
Yes, there's a woman.
Tatenkazi.
Yes.
Paternal aunt.
Yes, there is a woman who, in the absence actually of the 3,
yes,
she can actually give you a wife.
Exactly.
So those have a role. Of course, the mother. The mother is also 2, actually 3. There's the mother and the auntie.
Mama, my mother.
Yes.
Mawento. And that is
the maternal
aunt. Mawenkuru. That is the older mother, who is the grandmother.
There is now marume. There is now that maternal uncle,
who is now also brought to this side of the 3 ladies.
He brings a certain motherly approach.
I think we need to interrogate this concept further, more seriously. I think it's coded language.
Yes.
It needs to be
coded
unwrapped
and has meaning and significance. So if you are within this framework,
yes,
these adults, they are the ones who even brought you into the world. They're the ones who have built shelter around you. They're the ones who are teaching you the language. They're the ones who are covering you and walking with you from place to place, who have given you identity and location in the humanity, the sea of humanity. They are the ones who have given you the gene pool.
Yes.
Now, they have a right over your life.
No, say that again to the young men who are watching right
they
now.
They have a right.
Face into that camera and speak to the young men about what you just said.
Those responsible for your existence on earth have a right over your life.
Explain which kind of right?
They have a right. Actually, it's very interesting. They gave birth to you.
Yes.
You can't do it to them.
You can't give birth to them.
You can't give birth to them. They stand in a divine position.
Okay.
Actually, in the catechism we teach, the God of a child is daddy and mommy. There's a way in which your parents stand in the position of God.
In a sense of symbolism and the figurative sense, right? Because God stays God.
Yes, but it is actually not just figurative. It is more. Because God has ordained your blessing,
yes,
even your curse,
yes,
to be associated with your parents.
Who cooperate with God in co-creation.
They are co-creators with God.
Yeah.
That's a very, very serious role and responsibility. Co-creators with God. And these men and women can speak life into you, so you better pay attention.
That's critical and important.
You better pay attention.
Yet they are the very ones who are not preparing this young man.
Now, woe unto you if the people who should be preparing you are not doing their job.
Or maybe woe unto them. Why should it be unto me?
No.
If they are not paying...
We are coming to them.
Yes.
Because if they don't do their role, they too will, of course, reap the consequences of having a generation that is irresponsible, that is going to... They can't bequeath a future to them because they are not prepared. But if they don't play their role, there is going to be a significant gap. Your generation will not inherit.
There is going to be a significant gap.
Yeah.
They will raise unprepared sons, unprepared daughters.
And they will be disasters.
When you talk about that, can you look at a boy and tell that this boy is not ready for leading a family? Let's use the language of signs and symptoms like we used to say in science. What are the signs and symptoms of a boy who is not ready to lead a family? I think this can help some young ladies that are out there as they get some potential suitors. What should they look at to know that this young man here is not ready to lead a family? I should not be going with him. What are the signs and symptoms?
You look at the visible parts first.
Begin with the visible things.
The grooming.
Appearance.
Grooming and appearance. Is this fellow responsible for his body? Does he bathe? Is his hair kept?
Yes.
Does he take care of his nails?
Does he brush his teeth?
Does he brush his teeth and tongue?
How does he smell?
Is he a biological weapon?
of mass destruction.
Mass destruction. Body grooming. Body grooming. The way he dresses.
Yes.
And conducts himself.
Yes.
You look at social etiquette.
The manners in public.
Manners. Social graces. Does he have his way? Is he polite? Is he courteous? Is he gracious? Does he have social intelligence? Emotional intelligence?
In other words, how does he handle his anger?
How does he handle his
emotional intelligence?
Those are the visible ones.
Even maybe how he takes responsibility.
Now, we haven't even come there yet.
Oh, we are still on the visible.
Yes.
Yes.
This is now the envelope. Now, this envelope should also be enticing, should be attractive. If the envelope is not nice looking,
we won't run to look at the contents of the envelope.
You don't even have the time to look at the contents.
But the Bible says God looks at the heart.
Yes, but we are not God. We are not God. We don't
move around with scanners to know your heart.
We may not even stay around.
Brother, you may be in trouble if you're not paying attention to what we are saying right now.
Yes. So, grooming, body management, social graces, etiquette. Now we will come into the character. Once you sit with this guy, does he have a vision in life? Does he have a mission? Or is just drifting?
Aimlessly
through life? Whatever comes his way. So, a man without a mission in life is a liability.
That's a quotable quote. A man without a mission in life is a liability.
Is a liability. Liability to his generation, liability to his family, of course, liability to his mother.
Yeah. Why not his father?
The father the father may say, I gave up. I even didn't try. But the mother, the mother has invested a lot more than a father. You know, there are some fathers who just scatter their seed in the wild. They don't even know how many children they have fathered. They are there. But a mother is a primary investor in a child's life, especially a son.
Isn't such kind of teaching detrimental to the sense of responsibility of men when they hear you right now say that the greatest investor is the mother? Doesn't that give a leeway to the man to say, I think my wife you've had, and he folds his hands and gets laid back? Only
if he's let me not use a very hard word, if he's not a responsible father. Because a responsible father minds.
But the message you've just given him says the mother is the chief investor in the child.
Is more
maybe we need to add a disclaimer to that or something.
There is more personally invested.
Yes.
But by the way, it is most likely, unless she has given birth in a hospital and there's a possibility of interchanging babies, you cannot mistake a mother. But the father, there could be some debate. You may have to go for DNA.
We shouldn't go that way. So the envelope, we've looked at the envelope, the grooming, the social etiquette, the social grace, the emotional intelligence as signs and symptoms for a boy that may not be ready for family leadership.
Now we go into character.
Inside, the character, the vision, the mission.
Vision, mission. Is this fellow going somewhere in life?
How do you tell that a fellow is going somewhere?
Through conversation.
Okay.
And as you interact with him and get to see his decision making. What is his attitude towards work? Does he have a strong work ethic? Because work is honorable, work is God ordained, work will remove all sorts of bad things. It will take away hunger, it will take away poverty. Work. God created us. We are work machines. Look at these hands.
This is the lever.
These are when you look at the engineering of these caterpillars.
They are based on the human body.
Yes, it's the human body.
The science of the human body.
Exactly.
You have the fulcrum here. You have the load here.
The load, and then you have these muscles.
Yes, it's the pulley.
Now, work ethic. Does this young man take work? Does he have the right attitude towards work? Is he hardworking? Does he take time to plan his life and his work life? Does he engage in fruitful ventures, or is just wasting away?
But he has no job. So how does he get involved in fruitful ventures? He is unemployed.
What do you mean he's unemployed?
Nobody has called him to give him a title to start working and earn money at the end of the month.
There is such a thing as entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
The way you organize factors of production. It begins in your mind.
Brain capital.
Yes.
Miles Monroe says that unemployment is lazy thinking.
Yeah, it is lazy thinking.
That's hard. And it sounds quite insensitive to people who are unemployed.
Well, you know, sometimes the people who will be useful to you are those who may be considered insensitive.
Okay.
Those who pour reality before you and push you out.
And find a way to deal with it.
Yes.
Wake you up.
Kick
you in the head.
Sometimes we Africans, we've always wanted to be patted on the back. Yeah. And we need somebody to speak truth to us.
Work ethic.
Work ethic. If this fellow hates work, he doesn't want to get dirty. He doesn't want to be engaged. He wants to be resting all the time. And you know, when you are resting, you need resources to spend.
When you rest, when you over-rest, you rust.
You rust. Things like courage.
Courage. Is he courageous?
Courage. You know, courage. When you find somebody who's focused, and he has courage, and there's somebody who believes in him, you'll find him trying to go through such a wall, and he will actually go through it. Courage looks at
I hope he stays alive thereafter.
Courage
bangs into walls.
Courage looks at possibilities and doesn't take a no for an answer when you are still alive.
Yeah.
Courage. Have you ever asked these guys who left Europe at the time when they feared the world would drop, that the world was not circular and that it would drop somewhere off the globe? These guys explored. They were courageous. They went into vessels that were not powered, and they discovered lands and opened frontiers
that were hitherto unknown.
These people who have been to the moon.
So courage. Where is the dividing line between courage and stubbornness?
Well, stubbornness has to do with human relationship, but courage may not necessarily be stubborn. But some people think, others who are courageous may actually reckless is the word they may sometimes use. But
or violence.
You may be careful failures.
Yes,
you would rather be a courageous a courageous one who tries and fails and tries and fails, but somehow they will succeed.
Okay, so courage.
Courage.
Remember, what we are talking about is what are the signs and symptoms of a boy who may not be ready to lead a family?
Look at their management of money.
Personal money management.
Yes. Beginning from pocket money. Beginning from the little they have. Are they wasteful? Do they invest it in wholesome expenditure? Their use of money is another indicator. Now,
yes,
we have a challenge these days. You hear a young man who has a wedding for 80 million.
Because you've taught him to think big.
No, think big in the right things. Why should he not spend 80 million on a business undertaking?
The man has big dreams for his wedding.
You are eating it.
He's eating a seed for the future.
He's eating a seed. So
we need to be taking a break in about 1 minute. So maybe add one more point and we take a break.
Look at his decision making.
Decision making.
Yeah. In management, actually, we teach or learn that a bad decision is better than no decision at all.
A bad decision is better than no decision
at all.
There are
people who can't take decisions.
Maybe it depends upon the type.
They would have running stomachs when it is a decision.
Yes.
They would rather somebody else does it. So if you can't take a decision, life is about decision making. Yeah.
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, preparing the boy is very critical, and these things that we are talking about as signs and symptoms of a boy who is not ready to lead a family are the very same things, are the very same areas in which we should be equipping the boy. We should be equipping the boy in grooming and appearance, equip him in social etiquette and social graces, equip him in areas of having emotional intelligence, equip him in character, giving him a sense of vision, mission, and direction, ensuring that he is able to make decisions that are critical, helping him to take on a good work ethic, take on courage, be able to manage his money very well, and make decisions that are critical. Live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally. The Inspired Family Leader Program, talking about preparing boys for family leadership. If they are not prepared and we just dump responsibility onto them, it will be a catastrophic pandemonium in the family. That should not happen. So when we took a break, we were looking at the signs and symptoms of a young man who is not ready to lead the family. How do you look at him and know that this one, he's not ready? And thereby making those the pillars of preparation for that very young man. So we want to continue that. Jeff. I usually call you Jeff.
That's very much in order.
You know, so Reverend Canon Geoffrey Byaruhanga, so that I'm safer with people in the world of protocol. Let's continue with that conversation. What are some of the other areas that we should be looking at as we are preparing the boys for family leadership? Which other areas should we equip them in?
Gradually releasing responsibility to them, beginning at the family level. The other day, our youngest son called for a meeting. And he's the one who said he was going to chair the meeting.
He said, do we need a meeting?
Yes.
How old is he?
He's now coming to 12.
Interesting.
But was much even younger than that. He had a meeting. He was the chairman.
Yes.
We were taking minutes. And I was amazed.
Yes.
One, there was the importance or the necessity of having a meeting. And he knows a meeting should have order.
Yes.
And he chaired the meeting and we finished where?
And you also did say, meeting, who are you to call a meeting here? No. You are releasing responsibility to him gradually.
Gradually. So release responsibility to them gradually. And you can tell that they are now able to consume this role when you are organizing family events. Do you micromanage? Do they have some contribution to make? Family events, these parties.
Yes.
So release responsibility gradually to them. Give them money and let them manage it. If you've given pocket money, how have they managed it? Have they spent it the first week?
And finished everything. My friend.
Or there are some who even bring it back at the end of the holiday time.
I think that one is also bad. No. Why should they bring it back? Maybe if you say they bring part of it that's remained.
Yes, they bring some of it.
Okay.
Not all of it. So, but also if one brings all of it back, you say, hey, it means he didn't spend it on the things it was originally meant for. Either there was a lie at the beginning,
yes,
or this fellow starved a certain constituent and vote. It also tells you this could be a miser, a mukonoga.
Exactly.
Who does not want to spend.
Yes.
It also teaches you about the character of this person. So release responsibility.
Any other area?
Gradually. And affirm them. And if they make mistakes, help them. So this was a mistake, this was a mistake, this was a mistake.
Okay.
Now, the other is, of course, a personal relationship with God. I should have begun with it. As a mother, especially a mother, and a father, do you pray for this child? Do you pray with this child? As you, so that they also see you have a heavenly Father.
Yes.
Who you depend on, who you talk about, who you talk to, who helps you get sorted.
Yes.
They too will now learn, actually, that they need to depend on God. Because they've seen you depend on Him.
So it is sounding like there is a big principle here that we are talking about that is hidden in the words we are using. It is starting to sound to me like the best form of preparation for the boy to be a good family leader is demonstration of your own preparedness as a man in the way you lead your family.
That's the best form of teaching, modeling.
Modeling is the best form of teaching.
True. You can talk, but when they see, when they observe, this is even the way. Now, the other form is the way they relate with women.
Teach them to relate rightly with women.
With women, with children. And that one is going to be, if he has a mother in his life, it's the mother to ensure her son knows how to relate with women, beginning with her.
I thought it's the father supposed to demonstrate to him how to treat women by the way he treats his wife.
There is that one, but the mother must tell this son, this is the boundary.
Okay.
Yes. You cannot run over a woman. We are not doormats.
Okay.
We have a place, we have a dignity, and women have power. Especially
influence power.
Influence power.
Yeah.
So have a time to go out on dates with your sons. See how he treats you. If he treats you well, most likely he is likely to treat the woman in his life well.
All right.
See how he treats children with care. No, a good leader, using Bishop Muhima's words, is one who combines, who is tough and tender.
Okay, tough-minded and tender-hearted.
Yes. And it was said of David at the end of his life that he shepherded Israel
out of the integrity of his heart,
skillful hands,
skillfulness of
and
the
integrity of heart.
Powerful.
Integrity, wholeness, with no gaps.
Okay.
Intellectually, no gaps. Emotionally, no gaps. Socially, no gaps. Financially, so financial gaps will eat at the self-confidence of a man.
We need to close this program right now.
And
I wish we had 2 more hours. But now, let's say this one more thing before we bring this to a logical close. Now, there is this young man who has been watching us today. And he listens to all this. And he says, now, I don't have a father in my life. Whether he is physically present but absent, in practice, or he's physically absent, maybe he died. And he also says, I don't have male figures in my life, models that are preparing me. I have nowhere where I'm really learning from. I am on my own like a duckling. So that young man watching, what does he do so as to prepare himself? If we could say that, then we'll close the program.
Let him pray to God to get someone in his life to be that kind of father that he currently doesn't have. Second, I would ask him to read the Bible, beginning with the book of Proverbs.
He shouldn't read it the way somebody who opened coincidentally, then he says, and Judas killed himself.
No.
Then he opened again, and Jesus wept.
Let him read the Bible and the book of Proverbs.
Yes.
He will be wise.
Indeed. It's a book of wisdom.
Yes. But also, let him look for a church. A church is likely to have some men. We have like the ministry you lead, Fathers Union. And I really would like to have, I thank you for the leadership, and I pray that you expand it to every church, every corner of Uganda, to have fathers that are wholesome, that assume responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of our program today about preparing boys for family leadership. Like we have really said over and over and over again, we often point a finger at the men in our lives and we say, what kind of a man is he? It's just trousers, nothing else. He's a man of no substance. He can't protect the family. He can't provide for the family. Look at his manners. Imagine that character. But we never try to see whether anybody tried to help him. Most of these things are not, learnt accidentally. Somebody has to be preparing this man to be a strong family leader. And that should not be happening when he is already on the job. It should have started a long time ago when he was a boy in the family. And so if you have a boy in your home, it's high time you started to prepare him. This business of the girl being in the kitchen peeling bananas with the mom, and then you say for you the boy go and be playing football, should stop. While the girl is peeling matoke, let this boy also be doing something else that is very productive, that teaches him to be a responsible young man.
Make their bed, arrange their...
If they are young adult, boys, let them be doing some things that teach them skills, practical skills for living, life skills for productive living, so that when they finally take on a family of their own, they can stand and be men who are worth being called men, who will protect that wife, who will be role models for their own children, who will be responsible in the community, who will offer leadership in their workplace, who will be ethical leaders in their nation. It begins with how we are preparing that boy. So go and think about these areas. Help your boy to groom himself, to be well groomed and appear responsible. Let him learn social etiquette. Let him learn the social graces of politeness and courtesy. Let him learn emotional intelligence and anger management. Teach your boy matters of character so that he has vision, mission, and direction, that he is leading his life around a core set of values and principles. Let that young man have a good work ethic, manage his money well, take on tasks that build him into a courageous man who is able to make decisions as you gradually release responsibility to him. That is the man that this world needs to get out of your family. Until next time, this has been the Inspired Family Leader with Samuel Bakutana.